to say is a massive, massive thank you to the workshop facilitators. I know you're all very kind, so no one said anything negative to my face so far. So the general gist is that it's been incredibly positive, and I know because the planning for these workshops started just before the summer holidays and in earnest at least 6 or 7 weeks ago. And I think as a result, the quality is reflected in the workshops. And there's been a huge range of experiences shared. So I have already been round to all of the workshop facilitators and given my personal thanks and chocolates. And hopefully you'll come back. But I would, if we could take a moment just for a round of applause, please. Very shortly, kind of 60-second sound bites, and feel free, those who are facilitating your faculty's thoughts, just to pop up in your chair. You don't need to come down. But before I do this, nothing on this scale happens in isolation. And again, I've already expressed my personal thanks to them, but I want to say publicly a very big thank you to George. All of the materials that come out to you in advance, the filming, etc., takes a huge amount of setup time, and I'm really grateful. Keely is the magician on all things paper and signage. Again, I'm really grateful for that. And Lucy Jackman has been really, really supportive. So I think 3 people I'd really, really like to say a big thank you to, as well as the workshop facilitators. So,
can we give them a round of applause then?
Yes.
There's another image that was at the open.
There we go. So, oh dear, another lovely photo of me. That one out. Yeah, I've got editing rights on the folder. So, I think we'll get on with our 60-second sound bites. Thank you to those of you just beforehand who've done your survey and filled that in for me. That's gone out to you via your emails. It's also on all of, apart from Faulkner's at the moment, all of your home pages. So Little Readings, Hartsbourne and BMS. You can get a link to that, and I'd really appreciate you filling that in. And we'll also be doing something with the faculty feedback sheet, which more will be revealed. But on we go, and we'll just have a quick bounce up. We'll start with the subject of champions, which of course is English. Okay, so off we go.
Well, Miss Poe, in English, which of course we know, we appreciated kind of reflecting on our current curriculum map. Really short one of the things that we're already doing well, which was nice, but hearing lots of new ideas that were subject specific that we can now implement to suit the needs of all the schools within our trust. So,
thank you very much, Max.
Things like the faith instruction.
Just pause it.
You know, a really good way of reducing cognitive overload, and the idea of building up success before the challenge, which is often, my teaching sometimes the other way around, really. So that's a really good thing. Helps to build up resilience, hypercorrection effect as well. It's really good when you use that more, using banks resources, look at common misconceptions. Some good things coming out from the growth mindset workshop, giving meaningful praise to students, look at the process rather than the actual student, so it reduces the feeling of fear of failure among students. We look at possibly adapting the curriculum for lower attending students, so we can limit the cognitive overload, and maybe we can liaise with Faulkner's a bit on that. Building up bank resources for students with dyslexia, and also getting visits between the schools as well, and look at developing physical resources more as well, particularly with young years and lower attending students as well.
Thank you. Science.
Yeah, so throughout the science team in the room, we went to a lot of different workshops, and everybody thought the workshops they went to were really good. A lot of us were at the questioning one in one of the sessions or the other, and there was a lot of really, really good feedback from that, and we're looking at how we can implement those techniques into our lessons. But another strong theme that came through was that using what we've learned today to try and target our more vulnerable learners and how we can help them to make more progress.
Wonderful, thank you. humanities.
So we kind of spent the first little section talking about kind of sharing ideas. Obviously we couldn't all go to every kind of workshop, so we kind of shared the best practices from there. And then we spent time talking, so within social sciences and humanities, what we can do is like kind of working together with primary schools. So we've already organised some days where we're going to get secondary school students to go down and teach some lessons and implementing some of the ideas we learned today.
Fabulous. Visual and performing arts.
Okay, there was loads from all the workshops and the David Didell talk at the beginning that inspired the faculty. Just to sum up, Falconers, the people we had from Falconers loved the idea of there's lots of starters and plenaries that they're able to embed into their work now. Little Readings really reassured with the reinforcement of what they're already doing. So lots of really good stuff. There, particularly questioning BMS, we were looking at our curriculums a little bit and making sure that the curriculum does have progress all the way through. There's some refining to do in little places there. I think the biggest thing that came out of it for us was that from Hartsbourne, and we sort of all agreed really that we want our primary school students to get more modelling, more examples of top quality, possibly even professional work, and to get out to art galleries and theatres more, something joint, BMS and primary school trips and workshops would be really good.
Fabulous. Technology.
Yeah, so we had a good talk this afternoon about all the workshops that we got involved with, and I think we all felt that the theme of closing the gap was there throughout everything that we did, which was really good. I think it's given us lots to think about. We haven't clearly worked out how we're going to use all the information yet, but we're going to get it into our agendas for our meetings this week so we can talk a bit more on that's going to be a really big priority, I think, to focus on those disadvantaged students and how we can close that gap. So I just think it's been a simple idea that is really, really important that we're going to take forward from this.
Learning support.
As one of the faculty were actually in training, I was really lucky that I was given all the staff at Falconers, and we had some really amazing chats about behaviour and the cross correlation between EHCPs and mainstream children, and they offered to come and do some staff training, which I thought would be really, really excellent. We talked about picking your battles in the classroom, and they loved the food.
MFL.
Okay, so we loved David Didell's session. We really liked his idea of getting students to commit to wrong answers by asking trick questions, and then they really remember in that way. We thought that was fabulous. And also the suggestion of taking displays off the walls, and it really has made us think about what we're doing in languages. We didn't attend workshops because we all, including Laura, we all delivered our own workshops. So Laura shared her workshop with us, Writing for Purpose, so that's really moved us forward. And through delivering our own Making Instinct workshop, we've not only learned from each other, but I think by putting together your own presentation, it actually really makes you think about your own practice, and that's moved us all forward individually as well. So now that we're ahead, we're just going to really focus on continuing to implement each other's strategies and to continue to learn from each other and continue to share.
Thank you. And last but not least, PE and health.
Okay, so as physical educators, our key discussion as ever was about integrating all the many positive ideas we heard, but at the same time maximising physical activity, which is obviously what we're all about as PE teachers, and that's why Andrew's session was particularly useful for us today as well. We talked about sharing good practice across the trust in terms of assessment as well, but when we come back to it, when we do PE, we talk about what do the students enjoy best, and then students enjoy best is the actual taking part in physical activity. So we've talked again about developing our festivals across the trust for Little Readings and Hartsbourne to come to us. And we also talked about bringing some Falkner students here, because the Falkner students crave some competitive sport. We thought that's definitely something that we can set up in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I mean, the only thing left for me to say is to thank you all for taking such an active and positive part in today. And I think what Hilary said as well is especially important. We tried to get as much of a mix this time of facilitators, and that there are obvious benefits for those of us who get to sit in the workshops. But I think the personal benefit you get from developing your own resources and presenting to other staff is also measurable. So if this has inspired you to take part, even if it's a Monday magic moment, that's a positive thing, and I'd really encourage as many of you as possible towards take part in creating workshops for next time round. But thank you very much for your time.
Hi everyone, I just want to take this opportunity to obviously thank Danielle. She's thanked a massive array of different people that helped us set it up. I really enjoyed David's keynote speech. I really enjoyed the workshops I went to. And I've worked with Danielle and the Teaching and Learning team for quite a few years. I actually think this is the best conference we've ever had. And it's just the little touches, like coming in this morning and having those little welcome bags with your badge on it. Just little things like that just get better and better and better. And I know Danielle was vetted by the Teaching and Learning team. She actually gave up an entire day over half term to come in and set up all of the classrooms that we went in, to set up the restaurant. And I know for a fact that she actually, within probably the next couple of months, is actually going to start planning next year's November conference. Okay, so she's put in so much work, and it's really nice to see it run seamlessly. Okay, so I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Danielle. So can we give her a huge Little Readings, Hartsbourne and Bushy Meeting work very, very close together for a number of years now, just what we do, and it's one of the things I love about working in this trust. But it was particularly nice today to welcome all the staff from Falcons in. It's the first, hopefully, of many sessions like this where we can all collaborate and work together. And on that note, I want to hand over to Sarah.
Thank you. So I just want to echo, first of all, what you just said, Graham, about Danielle putting the day together. Obviously, this is the fourth one I've been to now. And it definitely, we've had some great speakers before, but I think David was so inspiring. And I've sat there scribbling notes thinking, oh, that'd be really useful, that'd be really useful. And it's been so nice just having a day focused on pedagogy and, really digging into why we're doing this and thinking about what we're doing rather than get so busy with the day-to-day. So just thank you from all my staff, and I think on behalf of everyone, for inviting us, putting it together. I know there's been a lot of work behind the scenes and lots of meetings taking place, lots of emails backwards and forth. A fantastic day, and I know so much effort goes into it. So thank you for doing it. I found it incredibly useful. I know, all my team had as well. So thank you for including us and letting us be part of the day. It's been really, really valuable.
And it has reminded me, I should have said explicitly, although I have seen everybody to personally thank, but of course the Teaching and Learning leads at Falconers and Hartsbourne and Little Readings, a lot of work, and the Teaching and Learning team here. Sorry.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening.